Hello everyone, and welcome to the Extreme Tech channel. Today's video we're going to do 6G welding test. It's going to be F3 F4, which stands for 6010 7018 fill and cap. Okay, we got a 2-inch 2500 OD, which is outside diameter or extra heavy monster coupon, whatever some would like to call them. So I'm going to use the carbide bit for internal prep. I'm going to use that 45 angulator for my 6G. I like to use the angle grinder to remove the mile scale. Once we remove that mile scale, we're going to put the land. Like for any stick welding application, for root pass, it has to be land. So we're going to use 1/8 rod, just as for reference. I like heavier land. As I said, I like to use that 1/8 just for reference to make once you start putting land, so you can use that rod to check if your land is 1/8 and it's consistent all the way around. I like to use a grinder for that. Some guys like to use file. It all depends what you're doing. If you're out in the field, it's going to be X-ray. Yeah, you want to do fine-tuning with your file. Gotta be really nice and perfect. Okay, as I said, use that 1/8 as a reference just to check your land if it's consistent all the way around. 1/8 is a heavier land, and a heavy land allows for more amperage than 16 of the land. Some guys, they like 16. On a 16 land, then you got to run a lower amperage. Okay, I'm gonna put that angle iron just to do a nice proper fit up, so you don't have any high lows. Okay, for the gap, I like to start with 332. Just use that rod, but it's gonna be a little bit tighter than 332. Some welders, they don't even like gaps, or just a little bit opening. This is what I like. Okay, I'm not going to use any stick for tacking. I'm just going to use TIG. I'll tack bridge tacks. I'm going to put one at 12 o'clock. Then on the other side, we're going to put one at 6 o'clock. Okay, you check for your gap. Is it even all the way around? If you got a little bit opening on one side, then you want to put a tack on that side, so make it even. So all the way around, so it's going to be 3 or 9 o'clock. Okay, now check for your gap opening. If it's pretty much even all the way around, then it should be good for putting in that position 6G. Okay, we're going to start on this side, so the tacks will be 12, 6 and 9 o'clock. So we're going to have the right side open, and we're going to use a keyhole technique or whipping technique with 6010 rod. As I said, it's going to be 1/8 6010. It's going to put one tack on the bottom, one tack on the top to keep that pipe in a position. So with the keyhole technique, the length of the whipping stroke should be approximately 1.5 times the diameter diameter or less. When you start with 6010, you want to pause a little bit at the bottom. The rod should pause at the bottom of the keyhole long enough to deposit metal, and raised up enough to keep keyhole size consistent and allow the root time to cool. There's an old school rule of thumb: if you hear that crispy sound when you're burning your root, then you know everything goes well. If you don't hear that crispy sound, then you should stop, and something's not right probably. Okay. So when you start, go below 1/2 inch, let it preheat, let material start preheat, and then keep going that keyhole or whipping technique. When you're going on the side or getting close on the top, you don't want to push really too hard, especially on the top part, like push like on the bottom. So just keep it outside a little bit, so you don't want that gravity to push your rod down, so you have any grapes. As you can see, the root is in. It looks a little bit heavier, but that's a slag. Okay, we're gonna cut that tack, grind that start at the bottom, and on the bottom part, as I said, you gotta push it in, you gotta push that rod in. So once you go on the top, on the tie-ins, you want to pass over 1/2 inch, make it nice and smooth, blend that connection for root. Okay, as I said, this is root. It looks a little bit heavier, but that's a slag, and I'll show you later what I meant. Okay, now we're gonna clean your root pass. Use a grinder. I like to remove everything. I like to have a nice clear picture. After using grinder, I like to run a buffing wheel. If you have any porosity or any slag trap on the sides, it'll show, so you can remove it. Okay, so for the hot pass, I'm going to use 7018. It's going to be 332, 90 amps. As you know, 7018, it's a commonly used rod for general purpose welding carbon steel. It's a mild steel rod coated with a low hydrogen iron. I'm just going to do a weaving pass for the hot pass, side to side. Okay, I like to grind every time I stop. I like to grind every pass. I like to buff every pass. Which you should. Okay, for the top part, I'm gonna use 1/8, and I'm gonna just run stringer bits. Yeah, I know you guys got double vision here. You know, you see two arcs, but I'm sorry for that. That's all equipment I got. That's the best I got. Okay, as I said, we're gonna use 1/8. It's gonna be probably 120 amps. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. From now on, after hot pass, it's just gonna be stringer bits, top, bottom, middle, just to fill all uneven spots. Grind every time, every pass after you're done. You know, if you do stringers, you know it's less possibility to trap any slag or porosity, and it's easier to see if you got anything, especially when you clean after each pass. You know, if you got any cold lap or something, it's easy to remove for anything if you get. Okay, now we're going to run another on at the top part. Some people like to run 532. It all depends, you know. If you want to fill it up faster, depends on your skill. Can you handle that amperage, etc. But there's no rush. It's a welding test. You want to make it good quality. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You just want to have it nice and clean. Okay, now we're going to do one. Start at the bottom again. As I said, I like to run stringer passes, so you know, on a safe side, instead of weaving. When you're on the top, you want to slow down on the top to fill it up, to fill that more. Yeah, now we're gonna clean that. So for the other side, the same thing, stringer passes. It's really important to clean and grind every pass. I'm not a big fan, honestly, of stick welding. There's too much grinding involved, always grinding. I like TIG welding, it's nice and clean, but this is what we do. You gotta be a complete welder, you gotta know all welding procedures and technique. And stick welding is commonly used pretty much everywhere. Okay, as I said, the top part always pause a little bit, grind. You can see it looks like a little collab, but I grind every time. You don't want to have any slack trapped, or just around that grinder, remove the wagon tracks. As I said, this is the way how I'm doing it. I'm not saying this is the best and the only way you should do. There's lots of good stick welders out there. There's lots to learn. One thing with the stick welding is if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, you gotta keep your hand in good shape always. Stick sounds easy, looks easy, but it requires lots of skills. Okay, I'm gonna fill that, I'm gonna fix that, grind. Now we're gonna fill it to flush. Go on the top part, start again, go up to the edge. Okay, now I'm gonna clean that. I'm gonna run a grinder. If I got any grapes anywhere, I like to use 332, or you can even use the zip disc, just to run that mark on the edges. I like to run grinder on both sides. To have my edges, so when I start welding, I can see where's the edge. I like to do it all the way around. And I'm gonna start at the bottom. It's probably gonna be 3 or 4 passes for cap. As I said, you can see that edge now. So when you're running your stringer, you don't go over that edge, and that edge is used as a reference. So you got nice pad, clear pad, so you know where to travel. Stick is a little bit tricky, especially at the bottom. as always, of course. It's easy to form that grape at the bottom part, but we got grinders, should be good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, I'm running now second pass here. So every pass on a cap, you know, you overlap with each pass like 25-30%, all depends. As you don't want to go too wide with your bead. It's just a 332. Okay, now clean every pass. This is gonna be like the third pass right here, and after that it's gonna be the fourth one. So it's gonna be 4 passes all together. Just clean, clean, and clean. Run grinder every time between your welds to remove any slag if you got, so you can always check and use the grinder to fix it. Okay, now we got 3 passes. This is gonna be the 4th pass. As I say, I like to run the grinder again all the way around between my welding bead and the pipe. Grind those stops. So for the final pass, like any other final pass in multi-pass process, it's a crucial one. You don't want to have a big undercuts on the side. You don't want to have build-ups, or you want to keep it nice and uniform weld, good solid weld. As a little tip here, if you run out of the new welding rods, you can always use a file with your electrode stubs. You got just around a couple times on that file, so you can reuse that rod. As long as you have nice and clean tip, it's gonna strike right away, same as the brand new rod. It's not like old used rod and then you gotta stop a couple times, you know, tap it, and then you got porosity and arcs all over the place. So it's it's a really handy. Plus I like to use that file just to lean my hand, just to rest my arm. Okay, this is done. Just gonna clean it. We got a couple arc marks. I'm gonna clean it, use the grinder, clean all the way around, grind those stops at the top. If you got any uneven spots, any little build up, especially at the bottom, use grinder as well. Make it nice, just make it look good for a welding examiner. Okay, now we're gonna cut that pipe in 4 pieces. Actually, they're gonna cut it for me. They got a machine for that. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna be two root and 2 phase bend test. Okay, we're gonna cut it and then we're gonna bend it. Okay, as I said, for the cleaning, it's gonna be root and phase. As you see now, the root, it's not that heavy as it seems before. Slag is gone. Okay, we're gonna grind face and grind root. You don't touch the sides. We're gonna remove root. Don't chase it when you start grinding. You want to grind nice and flush with the material. Don't go too deep with your grinder. Don't chase anything. If you got any pinhole or porosity, chase it a little bit, but see if you're going too deep, just stop. Might be just a surface, maybe it's not too deep, you know, but if you go too deep, they might fail you for that. So around the edges, always all the way around on your specimen, just to prevent the notch effect. Same thing for the cap. Make it nice and flush with material. Just a little tip. One friend of mine, he was chasing a pinhole or porosity, so he was using 60-10 to fill that hole. And once when on the bend test, it shows. You can clearly see a discoloration, so the examiner knew right away that he was fixing his specimen, so he failed, of course. Okay, now we're gonna put it here. So I said we got a 2 root and 2 face band. Okay, there we go. Okay, first one is here, looks good. Second one, third one, and 4. That's it. That's all, folks. Hope you like this video. Support this channel, like, subscribe, comment. Any suggestions, feel free. Thank you for watching.